Hi guys, my name is Nikhil. Today I'm going to talk about using VirtualBox to create multiple VMs, connect those VMs, and to host a microservice-based application on it. I am from Data and Computational Science background. My roll number is M23AID046. So what is VirtualBox? VirtualBox is an open source virtualization tool that lets you create virtual machines. A virtual machine is a simulation of the physical system. Today we are going to create a to-do application using those virtual machines. So in virtual machine number one, I would create a React front-end application. In virtual machine 2 would be the backend or middleware, which is the Express.js API, and VM3 will just store the data in the MongoDB database. So what we need to do is basically connect those three VMs together. So let's head over to this diagram. So ideally, suppose this is our main system or the main PC, and in the VirtualBox we try to create three separate VMs. Now ideally they would have their own IP address if we assign it to them, or if they get assigned using DHCP. But uh, but it uh, but it won't they won't be able to see each other. They would have the same IP address for the NAT network adapter. So there are few methods of networking. So one is internal network, one is NAT, one is host only adapter, one is bridge adapter. So in internal network you can connect VM to VM, but the host system on which the VirtualBox is cannot connect to the VM, and it does not have the internet access. For the NAT port, it won't let you connect VM to VM, host to VM, but it would let you access the internet. So this is the default port that is there in the VMs by default. For adding any additional adapter, you can click there. I'll show you in the demo. So for the host only adapter, it will make VM to VM communication possible and host to VM communication possible, but no internet access will be there. And there is a bridge adapter, which is a kind of a combination of all. It will let you connect VM to VM, host to VM, and internet to VM basically. So currently for the assignment, we need to connect VMs together, but there is no mention of host should be able to visible or not. So I've implemented internal network. So let's go to the architecture of this one. So ideally in um, internal network, the internet cannot access this virtual machine. Neither can the host. So it is inaccessible to both of these things. Now virtual machine 1 can connect to virtual machine 2 and virtual machine 3 simultaneously, since they are on the same network, and this network can be configured using the network adapter. Now for configuring this, we would have to assign them some IPs manually. So that I'll show in the demo, but this is the main architecture where the React application will send API calls to the Express. The Express will return the API response. The Express in the backend does CRUD operations, which is create, read, update, and delete operations, and whatever is there in the database, that response will be generated and sent back to the Express, and then enter to the front end application. Okay, so let's head over to our main VirtualBox. So I'll show you how to create a new virtual machine. So let's put some demo VM name. For this I'll choose Linux, and I think I'll have Ubuntu 64-bit. Let's go to next. Let's allocate some RAM. So currently my system has 64 gigs of RAM, out of which I've already dedicated I guess 33 to the VMs that are already running in the backend. So by let's suppose I can give them 4 GB of RAM. Okay, let me click on next. Create, yes, dynamically allocate. Now ideally you would have to configure this to 20 GB. I'll just do create. One step, I think there is storage, VDI is there, and here, sorry, yeah, in the general, I think there will be, yeah. So let's go to the network one. You can see by default NAT, which is directly connection to the internet, is working. Now we would have to enable this adapter, and we would have to configure this to internal network only, or either you can edit this to do internal network only. I would not recommend this, since you would need to configure or download some softwares, or the any software, that is Node.js, MongoDB, or anything like that over here. So let's keep it as is. We would add this. I'll keep the text as is, and you can either allow all VMs, or allow all. Both of these options could work. For our case, we can do this, and since I've already created 3 of them, what I'll do is I'll remove this one. Yeah. So I've paused all those systems. Let me resume those. Yeah. So the VM number 3 has the MongoDB database. So to check if MongoDB is working or not, you can use this command. All the installation procedure is mentioned over here. For installation of MongoDB, you would need this. You can run this command, and to start it, you can use this command. By default, it is configured to this port, so we'll be using that itself. Same for Express, you can do this to install Node.js, and then install the Express and CORS, which is used for sending API request. For React, you would need to install these commands, run these commands, and Axios is needed to send request to the Express API. Okay. So coming to this one, now what I had done to basically configure the network was, when I was running it, like suppose this is my machine, and currently it is working. So suppose if I do this YouTube or anything like that, so if it has internet, it will directly connect to the respective. Yeah, let me open this. I think this one has the internet. Yeah, I think this one has the internet. So this is available because I am able to connect to for second machine, my network port NAT is enabled. So if I do not attached, the internet will go. So coming to VM number 2, now if I try to refresh it, it will go away, since it won't have any network, since we removed the adapter. Yeah, you are offline. That's what it's supposed to show. And if you try to Google anything, then it won't be there. See? So the main target of this was that if you have enabled this settings, it will be available to internet. If you have done not attached, so while installation, you would have to enable this NAT, because since you need to download all the necessary softwares and run all the commands, you would do that. and then you configure the internal network, and after that you would have to come here, send this, type this number or any text that you want, but all of the three should be the same for all these virtual machines. So after going to any virtual machine, we would have to run a specific set of commands, which is let's just say I open a terminal, a new terminal. Yeah. So if I type IPA, it would show me different kinds of IP connections like ENPOS3 and ENPOS8. So you from what video I saw for internal networking and the documentation, I would have to earlier this was not there. So what I had to do was just type this command, which is mentioned here. All that it does is just it sets this command, sudo if config this. This is the ID, IP address that you want that specific machine to have on boot up or anything, and net mask is the masking address that you need. Up is basically if you want it to go live or use it right now. So this is the command. So for virtual machine 1, I replaced this with this with this. For virtual machine number 2, I copied this command and run on the second machine, and for virtual machine number 3, I established this. So what it basically did is basically gave a specific IP address for the internal network to communicate amongst themselves. So all these communications that are happening here are happening because of these IP address, which are on the same network band, which is this INT net. So if you go here, you would see this IP address is available. So let me ping one of the related services. So to check how if it is working or not, you would have to type the IP address that is set for the other machine. So this is my IP address, the local IP address, and what I would do is so 101 is the case. I would type 102 to connect to Express1, and if it is working, it will show successful. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this machine for a while. So this service will go down. I won't be able to connect to this one. And now if I run this command again, I would get an error. Not an error, a timeout message basically, that this machine is not available. So yeah, see, it is taking time to respond and it is not working. So let me exit. Zero transparency, 100% packet loss. So let me enable it again. Yeah, I have enabled it. To start any Express server, what you would need to do is so let me show you the code first. Yeah. So in Express, what I have done is basically created a endpoint, and here I have used IP address of the MongoDB, which is the virtual machine number 3. So then it is being connected to virtual machine number 3, and then we have our read one, create one, update one, and then we have the delete one. Okay, so these are the CRUD operations API. If you hit this API, you would get your specific response. So let's just go to this one, and what I'll try to do is, Yeah, what I'll try to do is basically, yeah, for testing any API, you would have to do this. Wait, 192.168.56. I think that service is closed right now. So what I'll do is, yeah, since it is closed, let me clear this. Node server, wait, node server.js. Server.js is the file that I am using. I'll hit enter. It is running on port 5000. It is connected to MongoDB, right? Let's just see what is there in the MongoDB. If we have any existing data, we would see there it in Atlas. Atlas is the thing that I use. You can also use command line interface like okay. I think I have not enabled this. Let me refresh it. So yeah, currently there are only 2 tasks. So when I start running my React application, I would see um, 2 tasks by default. So what I'll do is I'll clear this. It is a simple CRUD operation, to do application, which is like the hello world of React applications. Yeah, earlier it was visible. Now there is no internet, so let's just wait for this one. Yeah, see, you would see the application. It has fetched the 2 tasks that are there in the backend. So what I'll do, I'll remove all of them. Okay. I'll go here. I'll refresh. See, nothing is there. This will track which IP address has sent what request. So 2 delete operations have been performed. What I'll do is I'll add hello world and I will type my name. Create document. Okay. So if I have to edit this, I have to do this hello world, and since I don't need world anymore, I would delete it. If I'm creating in a document and I've done it, so I'll tick this checkbox and it will strike through, and basically these are all the operations that are there, and we can validate the same data that is there. Create document is done, hence it is completed. Nikhil is there. We have the updated hello world, and these are the requests that are sent. So this is a simple application. You can find the to do React app code in my GitHub repo. I'll link it in the below the video or somewhere near the documentation. You can find this whole architecture and the documentation for connecting VMs and the commands that needs to be run over here. So yeah, this is all there is. I can also show you this. Everything is strike through, so it will, if I refresh it, it will be there. Everything is completed. So yeah, that's all for the demo. The key takeaway for this is basically whenever you want to communicate in between the VMs, what you would need to tackle with is this adapter settings. So NAT is basically connected to everyone, connected to only the internet. Bridge is connected to everyone. The internal network is intercommunicating only between the VMs. The host only is VM to VM plus VM and host. NAT network and cloud network and the rest are all new ones. I have not experimented on it, so can't tell much about it. So these are all the things. For storage, if you want to increase, you can add more display settings. You can change the scaling factor. Any general USB, you can turn it on. If you want drag and drop onto your devices, you can use this guest to host or bidirectional or host to guest. You would have to edit the settings beforehand to use this if you want to communicate between the host and this, if you want to copy paste any code. For the React application, just a second. Yeah, for the React application, this is the simple basic code that I have written. Basically, this is fetch command, this is add command, this is delete, this is update, and this is the strike through one, which is again an update operation. This is the HTML. I have used Bootstrap for it. Nothing much on this end. For the Express, I have shown. For MongoDB, what I have done is I have created a user. I've created my user, and through that user I am logging in. So in the Express code you might find my username and password, but this is all local running and local status that is there for MongoDB. Yeah, so that's it for the video. Thank you.